terrible price action in crypto has given us pause and forced us to ask a tough question. Should we continue to cover Bitcoin? And the answer is sadly no. So today we are having a funeral for Bitcoin. It was fun while it lasted, so many memories, so many friends. There was Tom Lee and his calls for 20,000 by year end. There was Novogratz and his calls for 40,000. And there was Ripple. I think we'll miss you most of all, Brad Garlinghouse.
After the 2018 cycle, people thought that crypto and Bitcoin were done forever. And as we look at historical charts and how government shutdowns have impacted the price of Bitcoin, we're going to answer that question in this video today. Is this shutdown going to have the same impact on the price of Bitcoin? If we do pull back in the month of October, how low will we go? And what does that mean for the price of XRP and other altcoins? Are you about to get a $12,000 deposit into your crypto wallet? And if so, what are you going to do with it? Social sentiment returns and the bull market looks like it is about to kick off. Guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm JR, your favorite crypto dad, and you know what to do. Give me a comment, 777 down below if you're feeling bullish, if you're feeling blessed, and you're ready to live your best life. Smash that like button, hit subscribe to affirm it, and let's run into the video. This government shutdown has no doubt had a positive impact on the crypto market as well as the stock markets. And if you look at the historical patterns on this, looking back at 2018, the government shutdown at the beginning of the year caused a breakout in Bitcoin and subsequently saw almost a 24% drop by the end of that shutdown. And at the end of the year, there was an additional breakout in Bitcoin following the start of a government shutdown. And at the end of that, we saw a drop of about 18%. And that kicked off the bear market for Bitcoin. And as you saw in that news article, it's dead, it's over, we're going to have a funeral for Bitcoin. Well, it's so funny to look back and look at the commentators in that were being quoted. You know, Tom Lee talking about a $40,000 Bitcoin, and here we are, Tom Lee talking about, you know, $200,000+ Bitcoin. And it is a fact that we do have a breakout in Bitcoin in the stock markets and subsequent altcoins as well. And is this shutdown going to have the same impact? Are we going to see a pullback? A couple things to hit on when it comes to the government shutdown. The biggest question in the room for a lot of the XRP army is this going to affect the ETF approvals? And the SEC's shutdown protocol is as follows. The Division of Trading and Markets, DTM, is responsible for reviewing these ETF listings. They've made it very clear that they will operate with less than 10% of its staff, which means that no new reviews, approvals, or interpretive guidance on pending applications during that shutdown will take place. Only emergency litigation. So that does look like the approvals are on hold. However, shutdowns typically lasting about 8 days, and if we follow that trend, we should be seeing the SEC looking to make a decision on some of these applications before the deadline, and that's just for the ETFs that have not pulled their application to resubmit for the rapid approval process. But with a shutdown, another thing that happens is that data is delayed, and job numbers, inflation numbers are continually being revisited and recalculated. And as we see them come out 2 months later, 3 months later, we end up seeing the revised numbers, and they are a much different picture. And that is actually a good thing for the Fed. If they're not seeing as much data, it tends to be more dovish or more of a bullish scenario. The rumors were pointing to a 50 basis point, a half a percentage point rate cut, and now rumors are pointing to the possibility of an actual 1% rate cut in the month of October. If we do pull back on Bitcoin and altcoins, where do we expect to see things go? We're going to jump into the technicals in a moment here, and this is not financial advice, simply informational, educational, and some entertainment purposes only. But we have a CME gap that has not been closed on Bitcoin. We have a gap way further down around that $92,000, $94,000 mark, but there's been a lot of liquidations. But let's talk about the more recent gap, which is 110,000, right around that area, 110 to 112. That gap was completely overlooked, and we ripper magooed right up to 119, even touching $121,000 in Bitcoin yesterday. So should we pull back, we could expect to see the gap filled before another break to the upside. This is actually a really good scenario that we could see play out. But before we get into the technicals, many Americans are facing the crisis of losing their job this year. Layoffs are rising at a crisis pace. U.S. employers announced 85,000 job cuts in the month of August. That's the highest since 2020. 2020 was massive just simply because of COVID alone, and this was just 2,700 fewer than the financial crisis. Guys, there have been 892,000 jobs cut year to date, the second highest since 2008. What are you doing to prepare for the dire economic times that lie ahead? Where have you been hedging yourself a row of protection against your family? If you're a crypto dad like myself, you're not only looking at how to put food on the table, but you're also looking at how to protect that passive income for the future. Guys, it's a dire situation, and there's many Americans right now in the state of New York that are going to be receiving $12,000 in USDC stablecoin. This is for low-income residents in a pilot program that New York is testing out to see how people would react if given $12,000 in crypto. Well, the first thing that I would suggest that they do is to click the link down below to get into Altcoin Pro University so that they can get an education in not only crypto foundations and crypto security strategy, technical analysis essentials, but also crypto tax education. Again, crypto tax mastery, not financial advice, but I'm pretty sure you're going to want to learn about this if you get $12,000 dumped into your wallet. We'll talk a little bit more on that one later. And speaking of Altcoin Pro University, we can talk about the breaking news that comes out of there on a daily basis, delivered right to your phone if you sign up at that link down below for your free trial. But Bitcoin specifically in question here, waiting on the dips to add more. Again, not financial advice, but looking for those entry points for those who are dollar cost averaging. And the sentiment seems to be just about the same across many analysts, looking for Bitcoin to chop 116 to 118 before it takes off. If it breaks to the downside, 115 is the test for support, and then a break to the upside from there. If it wicks down to the 112 range, it'll grab all of those longs liquidity before moving to the upside, and there is nothing but bullish news ahead. Even the US Treasury coming out and saying Bitcoin and crypto exempt from the 15% corporate tax minimum. Many people asking if this is a bunch of BS, if this is a real news article, and guys, there you have it. There are the facts right there. Plenty of sources cited on this one. The US Treasury softening crypto tax rules, easing the pressures on Bitcoin taxes. This is leveling the playing field with equities and bonds, and this is preventing innovation from moving overseas. That is what it is all about for America. And on the heels of all the swift FUD surrounding Ripple and XRP, we see that the Bank of Japan, SBI, announced an official XRP lending program. This signals massive potential, showing Japan is preparing to utilize XRP for institutional payments at scale. And with over 11,000 banks already working with Ripple, how many more institutions will we see make this same move, and how many trillions of dollars will that move across the ledger? Let's move into the charts and the technical analysis for the day. A quick overview on CoinMarketCap shows that we are sitting at a $4.09 trillion market cap. It's about the same place as yesterday, but you know what else is up since then? The Fear and Greed Index is in neutral territory at a strong 51. Again, we want to move up into greed and ultimately extreme greed before those big blow-off tops. Altcoin season as well, moving up to the upside a little bit here. We're at a 67, not quite at that 70 plus range that we're looking to get into, but that's okay because the liquidity typically flows from Bitcoin, the North Star, down into the altcoins, the blue chips, and then ultimately into the large and medium and low cap gems that trickle along the way, if you want to look at it like that. But the overall market cap for altcoins sector is $1.71 trillion, and that is up as well. This is all positive news, moving in the right direction. And jumping into the charts, starting off with Bitcoin, not financial advice, simply informational, educational. And at the time of this recording, these numbers are subject to change from the time you see this video to from the time that I've made it. Bitcoin is sitting at $119,400. It is currently working off of that area of resistance that we've talked about earlier on in this video. So should we break to the downside, where would we be going next? Again, we could wick down to around 112 and break up. This pump that we're sitting on right now is just the pump from October 1st, government shutdown pump, bullish sentiment overall like that. So we could expect to pull down to this blue line here if you guys are watching this video and not listening to it. If you're watching the video, this is a blue line. I've got about 112,500. Give or take, somewhere right around there. That would be an area that would liquidate those longs and then continue to break to the upside. Should we fall a little bit below that, we're looking at that 110 to 112 range. And I'm going to go ahead and put a bar on that one just to keep an eye on it. But that would be, we'll change the color of it too. We'll make it red just to keep an eye on this one. So this is the territory that we're talking about is a CME gap right now. If we see a drop down to this area, it's not a bad thing. It's just a liquidity grab to liquidate those longs and then move to the upside from there. Overall, where are we looking to go for the rest of the bull market? Looking at the overall fib from the all-time high to the cycle low, last all-time high to the cycle low, we're past the 1618. Obviously, we're at that, that was 101,000. The next area that we would be looking to target would be the 2618. That's the golden zone there, about $155,000 Bitcoin. Once you enter price discovery, though, it seems like for the most part, all bets are off when social sentiment kicks in. If there's any kind of government stimulus stuff going on, it's up for grabs at that point. And so it could be very exciting times ahead. Nonetheless, just technically speaking, it looks like we're going to have a really fun bull run here for the rest of this Q4. Again, it's not financial advice, but many are also preparing their exit strategy because that liquidity will start to flow out relatively quickly. And in my opinion, I think the liquidity is going to flow out a lot faster than we've ever seen in any previous crypto cycle. Moving into Ethereum, this is going to be the big guiding force for all the meme coins and the gaming coins and everything that's been built on ETH, not to mention all the other real world asset stuff. But Ethereum is also sitting at an area of resistance close to $4,400. It's not very strong resistance, and we could break through it fairly easily. We just need a little bit more momentum. RSI is ticking up. Stochastic is also ticking up. This is a positive indicator that things are continuing to move to the upside. Rest of the blue chip altcoins, you've got Solana finally breaking back up above that $225 mark. That was a strong area that we were looking to get above. I think ultimately once we get above 240, 250, it'll be off to the races for that. Looking at some of the DeFi projects starting to retrace, Aster coming back up into the $1.80 territory. That's encouraging for a lot of the BNB family out there. Plasma, that's XPL, has also bounced off of the 95-cent mark, and that is also a newer one, right? These are daily candles, so you don't see a lot of candles going backwards on Aster or Plasma. But DeFi yield seems to be the narrative. It seems to be the story this crypto bull run so far. And I think that most of that is because a lot of the people that are around have been around, right? If you've been around long enough, man, you've been in the trenches. Well, a lot of people are getting more risk off and they're seeing those DeFi yield projects. We've got a lot of those to share with you. If you do jump in to Altcoin Pro University, you can see that we've got not only crypto news, market updates, altcoin picks, airdrop picks, but we've also got DeFi yield picks talking about projects upwards of 400% APY. Let's jump back into the technicals. You can find out about that at the link down below. OG meme coins, Shiba Inu and Dogecoin. Yes, exciting to talk about. Why? Well, because the simple fact that there's a lot of money tied up into those projects, and they're not going away anytime soon. Upward trending support on Dogecoin. Dogecoin's sitting at about 25 cents at the time of this recording. It wicked off of, I want to say it wicked off of like 28 cents on some exchanges yesterday. I think Crypto.com had 28 cents. 26 to 28 cents was the range for yesterday. Where will we go from there? Shiba Inu is more interesting only because, well, it's one of my favorites. I'll just put it out there and say that like that. But is because the pattern is following the same exact technical pattern that it had September of 2021 prior to the breakout. And so that would mean if we did follow that, this little breakout that we've got going on right here, which again coincides with the rest of the market. RSI is positive, stochastic is positive, but that would mean that October would be the breakout month. And last cycle 4 years ago, it was a little over 1,100% was the breakout for Shiba Inu. Is it gonna do it again? Is this the year that SHIB goes to $1? I don't know about that. I think at this point, many people will be taking a penny. We've got to talk about real world utility too. That's something else to be talked about in another video. Modern memes, things like newly emerging memes like GigaChad, following the same market patterns right now. There's a little bit more consolidation going on, and this RSI is moving a little bit more sideways. That's got me a little bit more excited, quite honestly. That means that the players are kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting to pounce on that one, and there are just holders continually accumulating appreciating more and more. That's great. That's good news. And on to what you came here for, which is probably XRP and XLM. XLM finally above 40 cents and holding strong there. It's going to hold as strong as the rest of the market is, and that is the same thing with XRP. XRP has bounced off of the $3 resistance. Totally not unexpected by any means. We are moving up on the RSI. We are moving up on the stochastic. Both of those have crossed over their moving averages. Bullish divergence, definitely off to the races when it comes to these, but we need to get above the $3 resistance for XRP. So that is where we're looking to go. From there, the targets are pretty simple. They're laid out through just fib extensions. The bull flag, should that still hold true, we're looking somewhere in that $4.20 to $4.40 range. The 2618 golden zone right there, that's $4.66 on the fib extension. Many people eyeball on the $6 mark, but that's a little bit higher. That's the 3618. Totally not out of the realm of possibilities. How high is XRP going to go in 2025 in this bull run? How much of those ETFs going to impact that? Inflows from different institutions around the world using Ripple's technology could have an impact on that. On purely a speculative, rumor mill based discussion here, there's a lot of talk about a strategic play to suppress these ETFs and just build up this consolidation chopping sideways for a bigger blow off top once the shutdown ends and then the ETFs are approved. And you see these ETFs approved, and then the inflows come in and XRP's price just explodes, right? And I'm not going to throw out the predictions. People say like we're going to see $37 XRP by the end of October or things like that. But I mean, the reality is that the banks, the institutions that are going to use XRP are going to want a higher price on XRP to move more currency, from one institution to another while packaging it in that and using less XRP, right? There's plenty of XRP calculators out there to show you how much XRP's price needs to be to burn a supply and to reduce the supply because of the transaction fees. And we're not going to get into all that again, right? We don't buy the news and sell the rumors. We trust the charts. We trust the data. And at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that are poised to do very well this bull market. They have already positioned themselves over the last, 1 to 4 years buying XRP as well as many other altcoins that are out there. And so if you're sitting on a mountain and you're wondering what to do with it, nearing right now, if not right now already at the end of this bull run, you need to watch this right now.
Do you love crypto, but are you worried about taxes shrinking your retirement nest egg? Here's the deal. Trading and selling crypto can trigger capital gains taxes, eating into your wealth. A crypto IRA fixes that. Per IRS publication 590B, traditional IRA gains like those from crypto aren't taxed until distributed. That's why we've partnered with iTrust Capital, a leading crypto IRA company in the USA, to sponsor today's video. And they offer institutional grade custody for retail clients that want to set up their crypto IRAs for retirement, leveraging top storage solutions like Fidelity, Wells Fargo, and Coinbase Prime to keep your assets secure. To get started, simply click the link in the description of this video, sign up for free, and fund your account with cash. They also offer 401k rollovers or crypto transfers, and you can trade 24/7 with just 1% transaction fees and no maintenance costs. As always, I'm not a CPA or financial advisor, so consult one for tax advice, and we do earn a commission if you sign up using our link below to fund your crypto IRA account, but that helps support value-based videos like this. And iTrust Capital already has over 200,000 crypto IRA accounts and over $14 billion in transactions, proving they're trusted by smart investors just like you. So click the link below, get started now by funding your account today, and let's create generational wealth together.
I'm going to encourage you to jump into the link down below to start your free trial for Altcoin Pro University. This is where you're going to get bar none some of the best education that's in the industry. And obviously, it's a 14-day free trial, so it's going to allow you to blaze through a lot of these classes on your own and really get your feet wet and get a good feel for it. But this is Altcoin Pro University, where you're going to have a community built into it. Obviously, you've seen some of the news that I've shared with you earlier in this video, but you're also going to see market updates. You're going to see altcoin picks, DeFi yield picks, airdrop picks, etc. And then obviously the classroom, as I just showed you. So if you got questions about technical analysis, crypto, tax, mastery, a lot of people have made a lot of money in crypto and don't know what to do with it, how to deal with the tax implications of that. And that is all at that link below. It's Altcoin Pro University, free trial, but it's $97. a month to throw an expert in your pocket to be able to bring you guys this content. But that is what I've got for you guys in this video. As always, if you gained some value from this, please share it with somebody else so that they can learn as well. Also, give us a like, give us a subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Be blessed.